Chapter 10 Fears and Tears. I frantically called Lupita's phone on my first break at 10 a.m. and heard a weird sound somewhere that sounded like I was calling someone's device that had been lost in my couch. After about 7 calls, I gave up and sat down at the computer. To my surprise, a computer video call through an application called Toca was sent to me through her. I thought it meant toque, which would have been hilariously coincidental, but no, toca means touch in Spanish. The name was a play on words from the phrase, keeping in touch. I accepted the call and saw Lupita prettier than her normal self, and wearing a black skirt with black dress shoes. Her red-framed cat eyeglasses really made her brown eyes pop, and she had toned down her makeup to look, dare I say, professional. She was sitting at a side angle, but looked to her left to see me as she kept looking down at something. "Hey, Chopstick, ¿qué pasa?" she asked me in an exaggerated chola voice. "Trying to call you, but no answer." "Yeah, my phone went missing last night after I texted you last," she said. "We got blitzed, fool." "Nice," I said. "You two have a spiritual journey?" "We had a physical journey, if you get my drift," she said, winking and biting her bottom lip with a giggle. I was able to tell by the implication that she and I both partook in a taste test of sorts. "I did some snake charming myself this morning," I said with a small smile, remembering that special kiss I gave my man. It was my first time. "Snake charming," Lupita said with a naughty smile. "Does that mean what I think it does?" "If you think it involves a job of some sort that pays with a sore jaw and his toes curling, then you're right." "Ooh, you're a bad bitch," Lupita said, facing me and cradling her head on her hands. "Did you owe?" "Oh?" I asked in confusion. I realized she was asking me if I felt maximum pleasure from doing it. "Oh, absolutely." I didn't want to stop, but then sudden burst of reward juice was the end of the line for him. But it was awesome while it lasted, and I didn't think I could get body-wide sensations that intense from doing something like that. "Wow, I'm happy for you guys. Did he give you an Australian kiss?" "Girl, I don't know what that is." Lupita rolled her eyes. "It's a kiss down under, fool," she said through clenched teeth. "Oh, no," I said. "Not that he didn't want to, but after last night I was afraid if his face went anywhere near there I would have sprayed him. I made 11 trips to the toilet and all after dinner. Now I'm going about every hour." "Lucky girl," she said. "Last night I put the moves on Homeboy when he was stoned out of his mind, and he ended up going home kind of pissed off at me. But at least I got a taste, if you get my drift. He's really..." She extended her hands out to about the width of a forearm, and I immediately interrupted her with a grin. "Yeah, I've seen it," I said. "By accident, but I know. If it had legs of its own, it could terrorize Tokyo. And it's the same with Raj, if I say so myself." Lupita howled at this comment, and I was reminded of why I tried to get a hold of her. "But anyway, I'm calling to ask you for your infallible wisdom. I got a situation I need help with." Lupita looked legitimately shocked. "What's wrong?" "I found Raj's phone," I said. "Well, technically, Greg found it this morning and put it in my mailbox." "He was here with me last night and my phone is gone. But could he have taken it?" "I can ask him," I said. "Well, if he has it, maybe tell him to bring it tonight if he comes over with you and Raj. If it doesn't turn up by the end of the week, I need to order a new one." "Order?" I asked. "Who orders a phone?" "It's a custom model," she explained with a sigh. "My carrier only has delivery service because they don't have a physical store, so I'll need to ask for another one just like the one I had." Made sense, but I still found it mildly weird. "Gotcha. Hey, also, not to be nosy, but why are you half facing me?" "'Cause I'm at work, baby girl," she exclaimed. "Dude, I have the best job in the world." "Where do you work?" I asked excitedly. "Morgan's Funeral Home," she exclaimed. "I put makeup on the deceased." I was speechless. Did I hear that right? "You, what?" She angled her laptop screen down to show an old man in a casket and a makeup palette with dozens and dozens of shades. She had an almost limitless supply of colors and tools to work with. I'd never seen a dead body before and never went to a funeral, let alone an open casket, so this was totally new to me and I had 0 words. Wow," I said in shock. "This is Rufus Miller," she said of the white man in the coffin. "He was a biology professor at the college and died peacefully in his sleep the night before last. I learned about all my customers. It's the least I can do to show I care." "Whoa," I said, getting a little emotional. "You really do care about your job." If I came in and trusted a bunch of people to make Grandma look like she did when she was alive, I expect her to have the face of an angel, not the makeup of a hooker. I tried not to laugh, but that comment killed me. So your job is to make them look living? Sort of, she said. It's hard to explain, but my job is to make them not look like a corpse. So I'll make up to cover any blemishes and restore color to their face, moisturizer, a little bit of concealer on any splotches, and to make them look like the photo the family gave us. He actually looks like he's sleeping, I said. Listen, the thing about Raj's cell phone I have to tell you about. Sorry, go on, she said. We're all talking about sex and dead people. Hijuela. When I got Raj's phone back, it had about 24 calls and messages from someone named Natalie B. Natalie? She asked. Did you ask him about it? Well, it's highly suspect, I said. I had a huge cry-a-thon earlier over it, but I realized all the texts were one-sided and happened yesterday and this morning. When he didn't have his phone, she trailed off. Did you call her back? On his phone, I did. I tried using every search engine known to man, and nothing matching her face came up. Does she look like the type to have a social media presence? Huge, I said. She's a selfie machine. Show me? Lupita asked. So I looked up a photo Natalie had sent to Raj's phone and held it up to the webcam. She hit the print screen button on her laptop and screenshotted and saved the photo. I'll do some snooping, mija. You just take it easy and I'll see you tonight at 6. I'm making dinner too. While you're high? I laughed. How does that work? She laughed. Girl, I'm always high, she said. But it helps me deal with people around. When I get home is when I truly act out. I love you, Chicana, I told her. Love you too, Japonesita. Tonight it was supposed to be very cold, but nowhere near as cold as it was in January. Winter on the high plains was a true pain because being in what used to be a desert, days were warm and nights were freezing. I decided that we would sleep at Lupita's house, and so I dressed for it by wearing black sneakers with white crew socks, black tights that were comfy and fuzzy, and a long-sleeved pink shirt made of the same material as my tights. It was a bit uncomfortable with a bra on, and I even questioned why I wore one because I had a B cup. After much debate, I went without the bra and was surprised that I didn't have to worry about my chi-chis poking out under the shirt because of how thick the material was. I practically went hungry the whole day, anticipating the food Lupita prepared for her grand dinner. I had told Raj that morning to come by at 5, and when he arrived, I greeted him at the door with a red lipstick and modestly applied black eyeshadow. Hey, baby, he exclaimed. I kissed him and invited him in. He looked around. Any word from your friend? She's coming at 6 to get us. She had to put Yoshi away. Cool, he said. I brought my allergy pen just in case. Good. I walked over to my desk. Also, look what I found in my mailbox. Is that my phone? He asked with a grin and reached for it. I pulled it away. He looked confused. What? Who is Natalie? He looked at me in total confusion. Natalie? He searched his memory and shrugged. I don't know anyone by that name. Rajesh, I was honest with you, I told him in a very stern tone. I told you about me screwing up and kissing Greg. I turned his screen on and swiped the screensaver to show him the wallpaper with that blonde girl in a bikini. If I'm going to be brutally honest with you, I expect you to be brutally honest with me. That's not what I had as wallpaper. It was a picture of you at the park, he said, on one of our dates. I've never seen that girl before, Ren, I swear. He looked sincere. He looked crushed. He did not look like a cheater caught in a lie. He looked lost and hurt, and I was making him feel like garbage. I handed the phone back to him. I'm going to pretend it never happened, I said and kissed him. Please promise me you won't let it happen again. I'm never letting this thing out of my sight. Someone's trying to break us up. But who? I asked. Who put the phone in your mailbox? I paused and lowered my head, but grinned. Son of a bitch. Greg found it. You think he wants to start drama? Raj asked in a slightly angry tone. If he thinks he could come between me and my woman, don't, I said to him. I'm sure someone found it and planted it where he could find it, and he was just trying to be nice. I doubt he would ever do something like that. Raj looked even more confused. You're just going to trust him? Seriously? I nodded. Yes, I have no proof he tampered with the phone. But who else could have? Do you even know who this picture is? Nope, I said. But if I find out you're lying to me, we're not going to have another talk like this. Raj handed me the phone. And here, you can hold it for the rest of the night if you don't trust me. I have absolutely nothing to hide. No, stop, I protested. He put it in my palm and stood back. I don't need it. I need you. He sat down on the futon. I'd never cheat on you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Now I really felt bad. I sat by him and held his hand. I trust you. I'm sorry. But how would you react if you saw stuff like this on my phone? Honestly, he said, I'd lose my mind. But I would never go through your phone because I respect your privacy. And you get why I freaked out, I said. But I'm sorry I took it out on you. I trust you. He squeezed my hand and smiled at me. When Lupita pulled up, she was wearing a long skirt that was purple with black witchy embellishments that reminded me of a spiky iron gate surrounding a creepy haunted house. Her top was long-sleeved in red with wide flowing sleeves at the wrists, and she had on black high-heeled boots. She also had her hair in a bun and looked like a real-deal practitioner of magic. It reminded me of Bayonetta if she were plus-sized, if I'm being honest. She opened the back doors for me and Raj, but he insisted that I sit up front with her. On the ride over, she informed us that Greg made the decision not to join us because he felt it would be awkward being around me and Raj. Good call, because Raj was ready to knock him out, and I can't lie, I would have too. So, when are we going to make more videos? Lupita asked me as we pulled up to her house, which was super cute in the setting sun. It looked like a dollhouse, with only one story. Hopefully when you and I spend the night together again. Did you put Yoshi away? He has his own room all to himself, and I have a girl kitty who is fixed in there with him named Peach. Peach and Yoshi, Raj said. That's cute. They're both Mario characters. I totally didn't plan that, Lupita said, laughing. She's a shaggy orange tabby, so I just thought Peach was a perfect name. We agreed with her fully when we peeked inside the room and saw the two cats lazily chilling on opposite sides of the room. There were toys everywhere. 2 separate cat castles made from cardboard and carpet, and 2 litter boxes filled with crystals called Pretty Litter. Yoshi was in cat heaven. I envied the dude, but as long as he was loved, I was happy. Just like the last time I came here, we removed our shoes and socks before entering the Tokatorium. Raj hadn't anticipated having to take off his footwear, but once he touched the carpet, I saw him get chills of pleasure. That's nice, he groaned. Lupita had set a hookah in the center of the beanbags. It gets better, trust me. The stuff we smoked through the hookah felt cooler in our lungs, and we inhaled at the same time. Raj, who had never smoked anything, burst into a coughing fit. I had the gross flavor on my tongue again, but this time she provided bottles of water, which felt good in our throats as the substance went through our bloodstream. Lupita smirked at me. You two are perfect together. Raj smiled and held my hand. Oh, your skin is so soft. I couldn't help but let out a nervous giggle that ended in a snort, making everyone else laugh. Then I said in my husky Russian accent, You're not so bad yourself, comrade. Ren, have you ever considered getting into voice acting? Raj asked me. He turned to Lupita. This morning I woke up and what is it you told me? Say it in the voice. I cleared my throat and said in my most wretched Cockney accent, Oi, blimey, I'm bloody late for work. Here we are now, Mr. Raj, up and at 'em. A day not mastered is debatedly wasted. How did you come up with this stuff? Lupita exclaimed, holding her sides. I shrugged, laughing at myself. It just comes to me. When I was a kid, I used to imitate all sorts of characters. Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle, Bugs Bunny, Peppa Pig, this British dude on the news named Dick Springer. That made me laugh even back then. And my favorite character of all,
Pikachu?
The last voice I mimicked so perfectly that I surprised even myself.
Pika.
You know what? Lupita said with eyes so squinted I could swear she was mocking my Asian heritage. I used my thumb and index fingers and leaned forward, widening my eyes and made her laugh even harder. When she calmed down, she stated, I took courses in animation back in college and we could throw together a series where you voice all the characters. Yeah? I said, Far out. We could work on ideas together. What about me? Raj asked. I squeezed his hand. You be the director and tell us how it flows best. He nodded. Directed by Rajesh Singh. Now imitating an Italian mobster, I said, Just rolls off the tongue, sonny boy. I felt a vibration on my leg and knew it was his phone going off. I decided to ignore it, and Lupita stood up and asked us, You guys hungry yet? I got something cooked that's the definition of umami, the 5th taste after sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Umami, I cracked as she stood. When she walked past, now I smacked her butt, and she yelped as she scampered past. You two are awesome, Raj said. The definition of best friends. You're my best friend, I said to him and kissed him. As we were sort of making out, his phone was blowing up in my pocket. "I gotta use the little girl's room. I'll be right back." "Don't be gone too long," he said. I left my shoes and socks in there along with my hoodie and went to the restroom located right next to Lupita's studio room. The smell of delicious homemade enchiladas filled the hallway, and I nearly went that way first. I entered the restroom practically floating. I was walking on the balls of my feet for some reason, as if sneaking by, but in a hurry, and sat down to use the toilet. I took out Raj's phone and checked it to cuss out whoever was blowing his texts up, and I nearly dropped it in the space betwixt my thighs. There were 7 missed calls from Natalie, and 2 new texts from Lupita's number. The first one I read, "This stupid hoochie has no idea you and I are doing stuff behind her back." And the second one read, "Once she passes out, meet me outside. Winking face, kissing face, heart emoji." That was all it took. My anxiety went into hyperdrive and the weed began to work against me. I felt panic set in and the walls squeezed in on me while my pulse climbed into triple digits. Tears blurred my eyes and I wanted nothing more than to die. I cleaned up and looked in the mirror. My makeup was running again. I scrubbed it off hard, every last bit of it, and stormed out of the bathroom. I headed for the door. "Baby girl, where you going?" Lupita asked, jokingly at first, but then she voiced worry when I turned to her and flung Raj's phone at her face, making her flinch and raise both arms to defend herself as a piece of text smacked the wall behind her and clattered to the floor in one piece still. Her tone now rose to concern. "What's wrong, Ren?" "You're screwing my man!" I screamed and kicked her screen door open with my naked foot. "Both of you, stay away from me!" They both dropped everything and pursued me. I ran barefoot outside down the street as the air got colder, and every step felt like I was stomping on broken glass. I didn't care. My worst fears were manifesting, and I ran straight back to my apartment, wailing like a banshee the whole way there. Raj and Lupita had gotten in a car and beat me there, parked in the driveway. Lupita held my shoes, socks, and hoodie. "Ren, it's okay. Calm down. I don't have a phone." "You're lying," I argued through tears. "You lied straight to my face. I trusted you. I loved you." "It's not real," they both yelled in unison. Their desperation to calm me down only made my anxiety rise to the point I was panting so hard and fast I could no longer breathe. "Just get away from me," I said in a whimpered gasp. "Please, just leave me alone tonight. I want to go home." Raj handed me my clothes and walked with his head lowered back to his car. Lupita got in her own car and cried as she entered it. "I'll hit you up tomorrow, Ren," she called. I stayed outside holding all my stuff and sat against the door, slowing my breathing in an attempt to calm down. While wiping my eyes, I heard something glass clink against the concrete of the porch and looked to my left to see that Greg had put a bottle of tequila next to me and retreated back into his apartment, closing the door slowly, using his shoulder to make the mechanism catch. I stood after a few seconds and knocked on his door after putting my hoodie on. He opened his door and nodded, keeping his eyes on mine. "Heard you crying. Figured you wanted to be alone." I entered his apartment and he set a bucket next to a chair and filled it with warm water and Epsom salts. I sat down and placed my sore, cold feet in the bucket after rolling my tights up to my knees. "You want to talk about it?" he asked, sitting on a beanbag in front of me. He had 2 shot glasses of tequila and handed me one. I took the shot and sucked in a breath as a bitter fluid raced down my throat, warming and relaxing me on the way down. I'm so lost." "How?" he asked. "With life?" "You found Raj's phone," I interrupted him. "When did you find it?" He shrugged. "This morning after I got home. It was in the street." "Do you know someone named Natalie D?" I asked sadly. "My ex was named Natalie. She was wild," he said. "She only wanted to make money and didn't want to spend any time with me. We never hung out together, and when I tried to leave her, she claimed I forced myself on her so I wouldn't have a chance of getting in another relationship without being labeled as a sex offender." "Where does she live?" "I have no idea," he said. "I dated her a year ago. Haven't seen her since. Either I'm lucky or she decided to leave me alone." "Why does she want Raj?" I asked. "Probably the same reason you do. Only you're the one who he deserves to be with." I lowered my head. "Do you know what happened to Lupita's phone?" I asked. He shook his head and served me another shot of tequila. "No, what?" "It disappeared the night you went over," I said in a low voice. He sat upright. "Are you saying I stole it?" he asked calmly. He held a hand out. "Go ahead and call it." I did just that. Still pretty high and beginning to crossfade into a powerful buzz, I called Lupita's number. It rang, but I heard no ringing, music, or even a vibration anywhere. Satisfied? He asked. I put my phone away. Do you like me? He laughed. As a friend? Of course. No, I said sternly. What I mean is, do you want me? Do you, Greg? He sighed. You're a beautiful woman, and you're real. But sexually, I'm a bit afraid of getting involved. I'm not offering, Greg, I spat. I'm still in love with Raj. But why does everything, the disappearing of phones, this Natalie person, my sorrow, why does it all lead back to you? Why do I come back to you? Maybe because you choose to, he said. I think you're fixing it to make it seem like I'm forced to keep running to you when things go bad. And I'm sick of it. He laughed and turned away. And why would I try to make you keep running to me? Seems weird that your so-called friends aren't here, yet you willingly came into my apartment. My so-called friends both had their phones stolen, and here I am. I can't believe I'm being accused of this, Greg spat, turning back to me. I mean, here I am extending hospitality to you, expecting nothing in return. Are you? I interrupted. Or is it my trust you want in return? Greg didn't answer. Instead, he poured 2 more shots. Answer me, Greg! He walked over and handed me the shot before saying in a clearly irritated tone, Well, if I'm such a distrustful person, find the door. It's no wonder you've never made friends. I downed the shot, picked up a towel nearby, dried my feet completely on it, and then put on my socks, shoes, and hoodie. Arigato, ran out. As I left, I slammed the door to his apartment with all my might, causing other neighbors to turn their porch lights on and see what was going on. But by then I had entered my apartment. I sat at my computer and opened up the recording software. I was no longer panicking, nor was I crying. I started making a video and rested my head on my left fist with my elbow on the table. I clicked the ring light behind my laptop on, then off, over and over again for about 20 seconds, before I crossed my arms and looked into the lens, then glanced at my own pathetic reflection. I looked tired. The day had been emotionally draining, and I was back to where I started when I first made this account. No. If where I started from was 0, this was in the negative zone. I now officially did not care. I had a completely flat mood. Or affect, if you will. Did you guys ever get something really cool that you wanted really badly, but as soon as it's yours, you feel like you didn't deserve it? I changed my posture and slumped my shoulders. I sounded way out of it, and my voice was beginning to crack. I've been blessed with more than enough opportunities to expand and learn. I've repaired some things wrong with myself and helped fix some of you out there through my insight. But if I'm being honest, I've not been truly open about myself with you guys. I sighed deeply and looked at my fingers. My feet were still cold from the long sprint home. I felt dizzy and a little bit queasy from the liquor, and the room spun slightly thanks to the pot. I continued without looking at the camera. I'm a mess. I've got problems. Tonight, everything went wrong, and the way I handled it was literally the least productive approach, and I succeeded in burning every bridge I've built this year, and I can't bear to look at myself in the face, because I'm very ashamed of what I've become, of what I've been. It's easy to lie to ourselves and say that we are deserving of happiness and that we are worthy of the love of others. But what would I have done lately to earn that love and happiness? I looked up and slightly to the left of the camera and began to cry. I want to be happy. I want to love myself. I want to look myself in the eyes and see the beauty and the happiness and the joy. But every time I look into my own eyes, I see a depressed hypocrite who doesn't have any social skills staring back at me. And I hate her. I don't want to be her. I love me. But I want to be a different girl. I want love. But I don't want it from anyone else. I don't deserve love from anyone else because I can't bring myself to tell myself the truth. I looked directly into the camera lens and wiped my eyes. Beautiful, big brown eyes that poured tears of frustration and self-pity. Ren, I hate you. I hate you so, so much. You're a liar and a crybaby, and you need to change. You need to love me. You need to appreciate me. You need to accept me. I stopped the video and lowered my head, letting all of the emotions run out. Once I finished my cryathon, I called Raj, but there was no answer. I uploaded the video and went directly to bed in the same clothes I was in, even putting my shoes on before I laid down. I was awakened by the noise of someone banging frantically on my door and window and heard two voices outside yelling my name. Ren! Ren! I rubbed my eyes and looked up. It was daytime and I was severely hungover. I stumbled to the window and put my hands to the glass. I'm here! Stop banging! Jesus! I opened up the door and Raj and my father were both there and hugged me tightly. Are you okay? Dad asked in worry. When he hugged me, I felt his pulse in my cheeks. It was racing. Mom was standing on the porch with her hands clenched together tightly as if praying. We had been a Christian household, but weren't super hardcore religious. God was present, but not the center of our lives, which was kind of hypocritical of us as I grew up. I'm fine, just a little hungover is all, I muttered in annoyance. What the heck are you three doing anyway? Raj held up his phone. I had a few drinks alone last night in my house to clear my mind, and I binge-watched all of your videos. Then a new one uploaded, and I came straight here after I saw it. Why? I asked. Dad held my hands. I was worried you were going to hurt yourself. Same, Raj said. I was worried sick. I don't know what I would do if I lost you. I backed off. You what? You thought that I was going to commit suicide? You're loved, baby girl, Dad said to me. He was slightly emotional and stood back. You mean everything to me. And when I said you were the best thing that happened to me, Raj said, I meant it. I love you, Raj, I said to him. And I've been terrible to you. I forgive you, Ren. I always have, he told me, approaching me and holding my hands. Raj, please let me finish, I begged him as I started getting emotional. I want us to work out. I want this to be forever. But before I can fix us, I have to fix me. I can't self-medicate forever. He hugged me tightly. As he did, Lupita pulled up, and when she got out, she called, Is she okay? What happened? She's fine, Dad said to her. Thank God. You guys all care that much about me? Of course, Chopstick, Lupita cried. She embraced me tightly and wept hard. You're the only person I can call my sister. We love you, Ren, they all said together. We love you so much. I awoke, for real, at that moment, and realized everything I saw was a dream, except for the massive hangover and the bright sun of the morning. My head was throbbing, and I felt like a vampire. Against my better judgment, I checked my phone and saw that indeed Raj had tried to call me back. I returned his call at 8:14 a.m., and he answered after 2 rings, having drank as soon as he got home, just like in my dream. Hey, he said, you feel okay? I saw your video. I love you, and I'm sorry for everything again. I need help, I told him quietly. I then repeated from my dream what I said to him. I can't fix us until I fix me. I understand, he said calmly. Do whatever it is you gotta do. I'll wait as long as it takes until you're ready. About an hour later, I reached a familiar building on my bike and locked it up near the entrance. I took a deep breath and pulled open the glass door leading into the quaint waiting room. I walked directly to a door in the back and knocked before patiently waiting a few moments. The door opened up, and Dr. Howard stepped out with a clipboard. I'm here for my first official counseling, I said confidently. Howard smirked under his dorky porn stash and stepped aside and said to me, Come on in, have a seat. I opened my mouth to say something productive, but instead, I marched straight in and sat on his couch while he closed the door gently behind me.